Well, hey there. I'm so excited to be with you all. Let's go live here. Yeah. We're excited. So, as you're coming on, drop your city, drop your state. Let me know where you are tuning in from. That's right. So that I can see your beautiful faces. I see you, Redlands. Hey. I'm excited. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Let's see. Yeah. All right. There we go. Oh, drop your city, drop your state. Let me know where you're coming in from. I see you, Rialto, California, Redlands, California. I see you, Ukaipa on Instagram. We are streaming live from on several platforms. So yeah, let me know where you're tuning in. We're starting a new series in Tam's Talk called There's a Difference. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I cannot wait. So begin to, hey friend, my friend Portia. She's amazing, y'all. Go follow her. She's absolutely amazing. Fontana, Culver City. Whoop whoop. All right. And so as we are tuning in again, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And so y'all already know God is gonna be so good. And so begin to tag, begin to share, because that algorithm be being that algorithm be being a little janky sometimes. So go ahead and tune in. Again, drop your city, drop your state. And I just want to talk about there is a difference. And what God is getting ready to do in your life right now. People are not ready. They're not ready. There's a difference. There's a difference that's getting ready to make everything make sense. And so, again, tag, share, tune in. I'm too excited about this. Drop your city again, drop your state. We want to make sure we get the word out. And so, yeah. Too excited. And again, one of the things that we must understand is that when you're going through your journey of healing, deliverance, discovery, all of that, people will always remember you where you were, where they left you, their last encounter of you. And what we want to do is we want to embrace what God is doing in our lives. So there is a difference. And so indulge me for a little bit. Drop that in the comments. There is a difference. That's right. Drop that in the comments. There's a difference. There's a difference, boo. I don't know who and how and who been talking to you, but there is absolutely a difference. And we don't want to miss out on what God is doing. We want to let people know that there's a difference in our life. So go ahead and drop that in the comments. Yeah. There's a difference. All right. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference. Now, we're going to, because y'all know when I do Tam's Talks, I like to do the Q&A at the end, because one of the things I just don't like is when we have like Bible study or a talk, right? That you get a lesson, but you don't get to ask questions so that you can have proper application, right? The purpose of a study or this TAM talk is so that we can really have a conversation about what God is doing, why things are different, and how we're going to move forward, because there is a difference. And so I'm going to do just a little familiar passage in the Bible. We're going to run it through real quick. But then we want to highlight some things, because remember, there is a difference. All right. I see y'all on Instagram. I see y'all on YouTube. I see y'all. All right. So we're coming up John 9. So this is where we're going to come from. John 9. And I'm going to tell you, as we are entering into the second month of the year, I don't know about you, but there's already something different about you. You might not be able to explain it. You might not be able to properly articulate it. Just because you can't really put your finger on it does not mean that there is not a difference. There's something new about you. There's a fresh perspective. There's a new drive, a new determination that is happening. Your goals are shifting. Your mindset is shifting. And people will look at you and be like, you acting real brand new. And you need to say, listen, that's right, because there's a difference. It's nothing wrong with there's being a difference. Sometimes we, in our culture, we normalize being the same, as if being the same is the goal. No, I don't want to be the same person I was 2 years ago. I don't want to do business the same I did last year. I don't want to be the same person. I should be evolving. So congratulations, ma'am and sir, there is a difference, and you should own that. You should embrace that. If people are telling you you're acting funny, your prices shouldn't be the same, your attitude, your circle of friends, if they're not growing with you, should not be the same. There is a difference. I'm sorry, not sorry. There's a difference, and you should own it and embrace it. Okay. I don't want to be the same. And so, again, I want us to desensitize ourselves. I'm sorry, wrong word. I want us to stop normalizing I'm still the same girl from around the way. I'm still the same person I am, as if that is a compliment. No, I'm always evolving. I'm always growing. I am always elevating to the next. Not that I'm not satisfied, but the way God has me set up, He's constantly downloading new. He's constantly pushing me. He's constantly exposing me to new and greater things. So yeah, it's going to be a difference. There's going to be a difference. So John 9, I want to, because I don't want to just hype you. We want to see how this lays out in the Bible. And again, if you have questions, I'm here for them, because we really want to have this as a discussion. That's why it's called Tam's Talks. Okay. So John 9, again, I'm going to summarize it so we're not going through the whole thing. But John 9:1, Jesus is walking by. There is a blind man. Okay. And the first thing Jesus' disciples ask is, Master or Rabbi, is he sick or blind because of sin at birth? Okay. Did he sin? Like, what happened? And Jesus responds in John 9:3, neither has this man sinned nor his parents, but for the work of God that might be sent. So the first point I want to make about there is a difference is when people identify you, the first thing they're going to want to do is they're going to want to identify some type of imperfection, some type of fault, some type of human error about you. When people are identifying you, they always want to identify you with your issue. Okay. So if you met me if you met me in my 20s, I had different issues back then. And what happens is, as you're evolving and growing and discovering with God, people will lock you in to your issues. They will lock you in. There's no escaping that. Notice in the Bible, they even classify the woman with the issue of blood, the woman, the widow woman, the blind man. That they were always identified with their issues because that makes them feel better about themselves by identifying you as your issue. So the blind man, and notice they said from birth. Now, the Bible tells us he was blind from birth. Holy Spirit instantly started telling me, he said, Tamara, there were some things, point number 2, that you did not even see growing up in your development, but you're getting ready to become. Whew. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back and the people on the replay. Although you might have been blind in certain seasons of your life, right? And the Bible says this man was blind from birth. So he didn't see how to walk. He didn't know how to take a bath. No one taught him how to shave. No one taught him some things. Things were not modeled before him. And some of us, there is a difference that God is getting ready to shift us, because although things weren't modeled to us, we are getting ready to to walk in things that was never demonstrated, but we're getting ready to own it. We're getting ready to have a knowing. We're getting ready to step into it. You might have never seen what a millionaire looks like modeled before you, but you're getting ready to step into it. You might not never seen what a healthy family look like, but God is getting ready to do something in you. There's getting ready to be a what? A difference. There's getting ready to be a shift. And you don't have to worry about, I never seen this model. You might have considered yourself blind at birth, blind in certain areas, blind to what healthy families looks like, blind to money management, blind to entrepreneurship, blind to dating properly, blind in all of those areas. But God is saying it doesn't matter. When there's a difference, I can take what you didn't have in birth and I can give it to you supernaturally. Whoo, that's so good, because there's a difference. I can't explain it. I can't tell you why I'm able to do what I do. I can't explain the favor. I can't explain all of these things. All I know is that there is a difference. Oh, can we just put that? All I know is it's a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference. I cannot tell you what it is. I know me and you kind of do the same thing, but it's a difference. And no, I didn't have a trust fund. No, I didn't have this backing. No, I didn't have it handed to me, but there is a difference. And so what I want you to know, point number 3, it doesn't matter where you come from. God is allowing your difference to take you somewhere. It doesn't matter where you come from. God is allowing your difference to take you somewhere. Wow, that's powerful. I thank you. Y'all, we need to be sharing this. This is so good to me. Okay. And so Jesus is going on, and we normally focus on the part of the story where Jesus spits in the ground and makes the mud pies and tells the man to go wash. But I don't want to focus there. I want us to go to verse 8. Okay, John 9:8. And it says, this is after Jesus heals. Okay. And the man comes back after washing and he can see. Verse 8 says, the neighbors, therefore, and they which before had seen him that he was blind, said, listen to this, is this not he who sat and begged? Is this not he who sat and begged? I told you earlier, when there is a difference about you, people can only remember you at your last shortcoming. They can only lock you in to your last issue. And here's the problem. All they can do is identify you with the symptom of your struggle. When people don't want to change and grow and evolve with you, it's because their mind can only lock you into the symptom of your struggle. Here's the thing. He was blind, but notice all they could focus on was this not the man that sat and begged? The sitting in the begging was because he couldn't see. And now that God has healed him, there's a difference. And the only thing that they can point out is this not the man who was sitting and begging? And when people are coming into your space and God has healed your eyes, so now you're self-aware. Now you're able to make some moves. Now you're setting a budget. Now you're making healthy choices and decisions. Now you're getting in your word. Now you're pursuing your dreams and your goals and everything that God has for you. The first thing you're going to have to get ready for in this new state, in this healed state, in this difference, is you're going to have to deal with people always wanting to identify you with your symptoms of your struggle. Yes, I was a single mom, but I don't have those symptoms of struggling paycheck to paycheck anymore. Yes, I was a victim of foster care, but I don't have that orphan mentality anymore. Yes, I grew up in a home and what plagued me was growing up in a fatherless home, but I don't have daddy issues anymore. Why? Because there is a difference about me. I can see me the way God sees me, and I'm no longer bound or influenced or captivated by my struggle. Can I get a witness out there? I'm no longer a victim of my struggle. I am no longer a victim. It is a difference about me. There's a difference about me. And you have to understand that. Because see, here's the thing. Things are happening and turning and changing. And God is saying, I'm just looking for people who want to know that there's a difference. There's a difference between being once blind and being blind. Oh, there's a difference between used to being broke and being broke. There's a difference between used to being brokenhearted and now having love in your heart. There is a difference. Oh, and the story goes on in verse 9, John 9 and 9, and they're saying, some say, no, that's not him. Yes, that is him. And then number 11, John number 11 is my favorite. It says, and the blind man, or the once blind man, answered, and he said, he said, a man that is called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said unto me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. And I went and washed and I received my sight. That was it. Here's the thing. Most of the people that you're trying to convince, you know why it's going to be hard for you to convince them? Because unless they're on the journey with you, they will never understand the difference that God made in your life. See, they didn't understand that it took faith for you as a blind person to have dirt on your eyes and then find your way to a place to wash just to come back. And because they don't understand your process, they will try to lock you into the last place they encountered you. And there are some people you're getting ready to meet again, and they're going to say, wait a minute, who is she? Who is he? I don't remember you being this confident. I don't remember you having this close of a relationship with God. I don't remember you being able to handle your money and your business like that. I don't remember. Is not this the one that was blind? Is not this the one is not this the one? And they're going to be so confused. And God says, you're not going to be able to explain it. All you're going to be able to say is, all I can tell you is that there's a difference. There's a difference between me. I once was blind. I'm not blind no more. I once was broke. I'm not broke anymore. I once was lonely. I used to get caught up in them games. I used to try to people please, but that's not me. There is a difference. Once you encounter Jesus and you go through your process, there will always be a difference. And you have to fight that thing in you that either wants to explain why you're different, or you want to go back to prove that you're not different. Oh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. We, especially in the Black and brown community, when someone make it up out of the hood, they are really, really mad at those people. Why? Because they feel like, oh, they're acting funny, they're acting different, they're not down and all of that other stuff. But here's the thing, when my tax bracket changed, there should be a difference. When I know better, there should be a difference. And God says, when you encounter me, your thinking is the first thing that is transformed. Oh, I know you're probably saying, what is she talking about? Where do you see that in the text? Here's the thing. The blind man had enough faith to trust God to go find the pool. And most of the people will never experience a difference in their life, because God will ask those who he wants to shift their life. He will ask you to do the ridiculous thing. He'll ask you to do something like, hey, you're blind. Let me go ahead and help you out and put another layer so you can't see even further. Now go find the pool, go in there and wash, and come back and you'll be healed. God will ask you to do things that don't make sense, like start a business during the pandemic. God will ask you to do things that don't make sense, like to start focusing on your family when you really want to go out there and start making more money, or trying to get another job, or you think you should be networking. God will ask you to do the ridiculous thing. And people, because it's ridiculous, will mock your process. But they want your difference. Woo! And here's the thing, if you mock my process, you can't have my difference. I didn't say better. Notice the key word there, difference. I didn't say I was better than. That's between you. You think I'm acting better? You think I'm acting funny? That's a personal opinion. But there is a difference between those who say, I will obey God and do the ridiculous things. I will obey God. And I know, I'm not really, I had lunch with an amazing person today, an amazing person today. I mean, we were just sitting there. Lunch was supposed to be an hour. We were there 2 and 3 hours just talking. And here's the thing, when God says to connect with people, you just never know. And so that might sound ridiculous because some of you are like, you know what? I don't have time to be doing all of that. I don't have time. And God is saying, you don't have time not to do the ridiculous thing. You don't have time not to step out on faith. You don't have time not to get your appearances in check. This blind man did not care that he had mud on his eyes. Do you know how many people probably pushed him to the side? You know how many people probably stepped on his hands? You know how many people who probably shifted him and pushed him out the way and said, what are you doing? But here is the thing. He said, listen, what do I have to lose? God says, I want to make a difference in your life, but you got to stop trying to hold on to what you think you know, because all you know is being blind at birth. All this man knew was how to survive. And God is saying, I want to take you from surviving to thriving. I want to heal your eyesight so you can see how to build the business. I want to heal your eyesight so you can have a healthy family and break the cycles of dysfunction. I want to heal your eyes so that you can see that the thing that I'm doing is not to kill you, but it's making you stronger. I need to heal you so that you can see that there's a difference between you. There's a difference. He said, I have nothing to lose. What? I'm going to lose these people who only can remember me as the beggar? And again, you're going to have to break that, because all they remember is when you used to. They remember you when you was first starting out. People can never see you the way that God sees you, because it takes faith to do that. You have very few people who can come into your space and see the future you. That's a very rare talent. And usually those people are divine connections that can see you beyond your current state. And what happens is people will encounter you right now. Oh, I feel the Holy Ghost. People will encounter you right now, sweetheart, and they will say, listen, you don't look like you got too much going on, or I could do better than this, and you're not what I'm looking for. You can't help me out. They're looking at you as if you have nothing to bring to the table. Why? Because they see you as the blind beggar. But if they were a divine connection, if they were tapped in the spirit, if they could really see, if their eyes were also healed, they would see that there is something different about you, and I need to connect. There is something different about you. I need to invest. There is something different about you, so I need to sow. There is something different about you. I need to stay connected. There's a difference. I don't know what it is, but I want to give into your business. I don't know what it is, but I think we need to partner. I don't know what it is. There is a difference. And you can't allow those who can only see you for your past issues, or who always want to nitpick and point out everything that's wrong with you. Like, isn't this the beggar? Wasn't he blind? Didn't his parents sin? They had all of these excuses. They could not see the man as a man who could see. None of them identified him where God was taking him. They could only see him from his past mistakes. They could only see him in his past state. And God is saying, I need you to understand that I'm sending people that's going to connect with you, and they're going to see future, and they're going to see the difference. But the first person who needs to see the difference is you. You need to see that there is a difference. God is setting you apart for such a time as this. So the people that you connected to right now, you gotta understand, you gotta survey it. You got 3 types of people who will be connected to you. 3. You got the ones who are going to say, hey, ain't this the blind one? Isn't this the one that was always right here? And they will never be able to see you. They will never be able to see you past that. Your struggles of when you used to smoke, when you used to, do all of that, when you used to be horrible with your money, when you used to cuss people out, when you used to be bitter, when you were angry, when you didn't want to work with nobody, when you was hard-headed and you didn't listen. They're not going to see you past that. Then you're going to have the religious people, or the religious systems, or the culture even, that will say, oh, that's because he sinned, or that's because they're they're from the foster youth, or they're a single mom, or they're a broken home, or they're going to have all of these reasons of why you're not successful. Oh, you're African American. Oh, you're a woman, or all of these things, right? Of why you're not successful. They're not going to recognize your difference. But then there's that third person that God will send, that will embody all of Jesus, right? That will be like, listen, I could see you. They will come and they will say, I see the difference. I see the difference. You're worthy of me to stop everything that I'm doing. Everybody else passed this man by. So don't be mad when people have passed you by. They just didn't have eyes to see that there's a difference. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad that people won't offer you a seat at the table. Don't be mad. Why? Because they can't see you past the exterior or past tense. But God is saying that there is a difference, and I need you to own it, and I need you to recognize it. So tonight in Tam's Talk, if anything, this is our first series in this. I wanted to lay the foundation that I don't care where you come from, there's a difference that's coming. And there's a difference about you. I don't care what your upbringing gave you or what it didn't give you. You're not boxed into that. There is a difference about you. I don't care if you're a single mom, single dad. I don't care if you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth or no spoon at all. God is saying none of those factors matter when you encounter me. I put favor on your life, and there is a difference. I'm telling you where you're going. I'm telling you I'm getting ready to heal your eyes. I'm telling you there is a difference about you. And I'm getting ready to shift everything in your world if you will just let me. Whew. Wow. That was a lot. That was a lot. Wow. So my question would be, who's holding you in your old version of yourself? Because see, here's the thing. You've upgraded. You've upgraded. Okay. You know, when it's so funny, my daughter was like, Mom, let me put this thing on your phone. And I hadn't did the upgrade. She's like, Mom, you can't even get it. I was like, why? She's like, because you haven't gotten the upgrade. And that's how most people try to identify with you. God has already upgraded you, but they're still trying to deal with the old version of you. And you can allow them to make you dumb yourself down to the old version of who you were when God said there is a difference. There is a difference. It's not the same. I don't want to say I'm better than. I don't want to I'm not prideful. I'm really just trying to grow and learn like everybody else. But baby, there's something different about me. There's something different. I don't know. When I speak, there's something different. When I launch it, there's something different. When I put my hands on it, there's something different. When I get up to speak, there's something different. When I launch it, there's something different. Because I'm their mom, there's something different. Because I'm their dad, there's something different. You got to realize that what God is doing in your life is separating you. And there's something different. Can we put that in the chat? Something different. Something different. Come on. Get a little southern draw in there. Something different. Just take off there's something different. There's a difference. It's something different. There's something different. Now, do you have any questions? This is our part where we open it up. And on Instagram, there is a little call out at the bottom on the menu with a question mark in it. You can put your questions in there. On YouTube and Facebook, you can put your questions in there. Something different. That's right. Something different. Something different. It's something different. And I'm not even, again, there's no comparison. When you say there's something different, I'm not comparing because we can't compare. It's something different. I don't know what it is. It's something different. We both could be in the same industry. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. There's something different. There's something different about what God got for me. So I appreciate that you tell me that it's a saturated market. It's okay. There's something different about me. I appreciate that you say that people that come from my background don't have families like that, but there's something different about me. I appreciate you giving me the stats and the stereotypes and the statistics. But here's the thing. There's something different about me. There's something different about my family. There's something different about my children, my spouse. There's something different about my business. There's something different about my money. There's something different about my walk with Christ. There's something different about my confidence. Hey, there's something different. Something different. And so, again want to open it up if you have questions, um, because we want real life application. So, how do you walk this out? The one thing, if you don't take anything away from this Tam's talk, is you don't have to prove that you are the same, because you're not. It's inevitable. You will not be able to prove that. Why? Because God has done something different. There is something different about you. And you don't have to explain it. You don't owe them an explanation. You just need to walk in it. You need to own it and stop trying to convince people that you're the same old, because you're not the same old. You're new. You're different. All right. And so this has been exciting. Again, Tam's talk, we want to just keep it real, because again, okay, so there's a question on YouTube. So sorry. I almost ended. There's a question on YouTube. It says, how do you remain focused on the different you and not reverting back to the old you? Excellent question. So, what we see, even in John 9, that blind man, they kept trying to keep him in the same place where the old version of him would hang out. They kept trying to put him back in the scene of begging out in front of the temple. So the one of the first ways you can stay focused and not revert back is there needs to be a shifting in your posture, a shifting in where you are gathering, a shifting in where people can locate you. Okay. So that might look like, if your focus is on school, I don't hang out with the people that I used to who weren't doing nothing, who were cutting class, who were not doing those things. There's going to be a shift in your circle and in your schedule. If you're doing the same thing that you used to do when you were blind, that means that you think that you're blind still. But now that you're not blind, you should be discovering, you should be challenging yourself to do new things. You should be moving forward with the things of God. So that's how you're going to remain focused, is one, by not finding yourself in old patterns, habits, spaces, and behaviors that you did when you were blind, that when you couldn't see the new you. That's the first. The second thing is, once you shift and relocate, you will find other people who understand there is a difference. You want to gravitate to them and say, hey, now that we're different, let's build a safe community, and we're going to hold each other accountable and say, we are never going back to being blind. I don't care. And we're never going back to the symptoms of us being blind. And remember, they said two things that was his symptoms. One, he sat, and the other, he begged. So the sitting has to do with you not moving, waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. No, 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 no. You're sitting. That sitting is a constitutes of procrastination, laziness, or the victim mentality. And that is one of the things you have to shift. I'm not a victim. And God's not waiting. I'm not waiting on God. God's waiting on me. So I'm going to get up and move. I'm going to take action. And I'm going to surround myself by other people who knows there is a difference, not a comparison, but we're just built different. Okay. I hope that answers your question. All right. The second question, this is good. Okay. On YouTube is blowing up the questions. It says, do you avoid conflict or embrace conflict of the other types of people that view you as blind? Here's the thing. It was never his job to convince them that he could see. I don't have to tell you that I can see. The fact that I'm moving and navigating in life seamlessly, I'm moving forward when before I used to sit, I'm no longer begging. And before you knew me as begging, my lifestyle and the fruits in my life are going to speak louder than anything that I can say. So if I have to try to convince you that I'm different, then you don't even need to be in my sphere or in my space where you can even disrupt my peace like that, because I can see now, and I can see you, that you only want to keep me where I was. So therefore, I'm going to move forward, and I don't have to have a conflict. There's no conversation that needs to be had. I don't have to explain to you that I'm different. And if I do have to explain it, I'm really going to only share it one time. And then after that, that's between you, the Lord, and your own emotions and feelings. I'm not going to waste time, because guess what? If you're stopping to address why you're different, guess what? You're reverting back. Why? Because he was stagnant and he begged. He was helpless. He couldn't help himself. He was dependent on people. And usually those people who want conflict is because they want you to remain dependent upon them. All right. All right. We got a question on Instagram. All right. So the question on Instagram says, does your mindset change when you understand that you're different? Absolutely. That's the first thing that changes. His eyes in the Bible were just symbolic of a mindset shift. In his mind, he knew on his way to the pool. Could you imagine that conversation mentally? I know I'm going to see. I know once I just get to that water, I'm going to obey what God said for me. There's a difference. I could imagine him feeling it already. I know once I get this dirt off my eyes, I'm going to be able to see. His mind had to shift. He had to say, I know they only know me as a beggar. Matter of fact, that's all I know. That's all I know is how to sit. I never seen nobody graduate from college before, but I'm getting ready to do it. I never seen anybody have healthy and whole emotions, but I'm going to be the first. I'm going to be the one that's going to do it. His mindset had to shift. So that's where it starts first. And this is one of the things, because there's a difference. Sometimes when we say there's a difference, we want our environment to change first. And that can be misleading because your environment might be the last thing to adapt to you. Okay. It's the mindset that shifts first. And then your actions will start reflecting your mindset change. Okay. Which will then in return impact your environment because you'll want to get out of that old space that only wants to box you in. What if family that tries to pigeonhole you into the old version of you? And here's the thing, we have to have those healthy conversations because I don't know why when we say, what if it's family, as if that's a different layer, family, stranger, it hurts probably more that your family doesn't understand you. But here's the thing, that difference in that mindset, you have to make up in your mind, I'm going to obey God and go to the pool and wash, or we can stay here because you didn't help me anyway. You left me sitting and begging, and you liked me there because you never did anything different to help me. Now that Jesus has come into my life and he's given me everything that I need to make a difference and shift, now you're upset. I just need to understand that you need to go work that out. I'm not going to try to convince you or believe in me. That's not my job to manage your emotions. It is my job to be different. And here's the thing, once you start functioning in that difference and living in that difference, they're going to see a healthy you. And then at the end, they might come back and say, hey, how'd you do that? Because you used to be depressed. You used to be this. You used to be that. Now you're not. I want some of that. But at the beginning, that I think that's our biggest problem with being different and owning that difference, is we want to bring people on the journey who don't want to go. They don't want to go. They don't care that you're healed. They just like you being dependent on them. They like you being dysfunctional because it makes them feel a little bit better about their dysfunction. And so that's a part of us we have to be okay with. Notice God told him to go to the pool. He had one of the first instructions to him being different and owning and getting his eyes healed was going. God said, go to the pool. Go to the pool, go to this place of refreshing so I can wash all of that dirt of what they told you you were, who they told you were, what society told you you should have been, what your upbringing tried to box you into, what your neighborhood tells you you can do and can't do, what your gender might offer limitations, the color of your skin, all of those things, the church you grew up in, all of those things will try to comfort you. And notice you just said, no, go, get out of here, move, take action. And you don't owe anyone any explanation. And what all the questions have to do with us trying to manage other people's emotions. Not my job. Not my job. But you do know that there's a difference. And guess what? You're going to keep saying that there's a difference. You're going to keep saying that there's a difference. because I'm going to be whole. How I deal with you, I'm going to be whole. I'm going to keep leveling up. God's still going to keep blessing me. It's going to keep happening. So you will be able to watch my evolution. And my evolution will answer all the questions that you need, because I'm not going to stop growing because there's a difference about me. I'm not sure I understand. You see, Siri, she don't even understand. Look at Siri. How do you deal with knowing your difference and still having to deal with others that combat that, not being able to fully remove yourself? Here's the thing. I think we put too much. I think we put too much weight again on people okay with us being different and us evolving into who God called us to be. And that's one of the things of why I think Jesus told the man to go and wash. And I think the mud was symbolic of all of the debris that we pick up over the years of trying to get people to help us. And remember, he was in a begging state. Okay, he was in a begging state, so he had now become dependent on people feeding into him. So some of us have become dependent on people's semi support. I said what I said. Semi support is help a little bit, kind of, as long as you keep coming to them, as long as you keep needing them. But the second you don't need them, or you actually take their advice and it works and you level up, now they're mad. So we really have to understand that internally, can they stop you? Only you can come into agreement with them and say, hey, you know what? I don't want it to be a difference. I don't want to fight. You're going to have to fight. And I'm not saying you got to have a verbal conversation, but you got to get up and move, take action on what God said, and let your evolving be your proof. Let your evolving be your clap back if that's what you need. Let you changing and shifting and the benefit of owning your difference and who God called you to be, let that speak so loud. Because here's the thing, when things are upgraded and changed for the better, we all hate construction on the freeway. All of us, until they finish it and they open up more lanes and you're able to drive and get to where you need to go. And you're like, okay, this is nice, right? But while you're in your construction phase, people are going to always complain. But just know that He's doing something that's different, and you're going to have to just deal with that. They're going to have to deal with that, and you don't owe them anything. How do you work on your need to manage other emotions? You have to deal with that's still an element. You trying to manage others' opinions has to do with people pleasing still. You still want everyone to be on board with God's agenda for your life. And unfortunately, ma'am and sir, not everybody's going to be on board. Here's the thing. Can I help you with this? Not everybody's going to like what God is doing in their own personal life. So they for sure are not going to be able to get on board with what God is doing in your life. And your need to control or manage someone else's emotion means that you still battle with people pleasing and that you want to be liked for being different. And that's usually not the case. And here's the thing, they might not like what's happening to you, but if they're truly family and friends at the end, they will love the outcome. And if they don't ever love the outcome, they don't need to be in your circle anyway. How about that? So we got to deal with the people pleasing. We got to deal with our need to be liked, our need to be wanted, our need to be applauded by them when God is sitting there applauding you the whole time. And you're ignoring God applause because you want everyone else to say, good job, you're so smart, you're so this, you're so that. And God is like, you just need to focus on me. I'm here cheering you on, saying, good job, keep going, you're making progress. And you want to turn and say, hey, guys, don't you see I'm evolving? Don't you see I'm better? God is like, it doesn't matter. They will benefit from you being whole more than they'll benefit from you trying to convince them to cheer you on while you're going through your process of difference. So be different. Be different and process that. Give that to God. Lord, I just relinquished my need to be needed, my need to be applauded by people. And I'm going to pause and own the fact that you are cheering me along the way. That's it. So I hope this was enjoyable. This was some good Tam talk. Listen, this was good. And I love the dialogue. And I love the conversation because we don't want to just, I'm not one of those who wants to just teach, 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 or preach, 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 or lecture. Let's have a conversation. And in that conversation, let's get an understanding. And in that understanding, then we get to have application. You get to go home and actually apply it. You get to actually sit down and say, you know what? I'm about to set some healthy boundaries. I'm about to own my difference. Let me deal with my need to people please still and focus that God is cheering me on. You have all heaven backing you. You have all the angels, the host of angels cheering you, celebrating you, watching over you, helping you, ministering to you. Why are you worried about four people, three people, two people, one person, right? Focus on what matters, and that's God and what He's doing in your life. And those who are with you that know that there's a difference about them too, they'll celebrate you. And the others will have to get on board either later or never. Not my job to manage. All right, y'all. So I will see y'all next Tuesday. Tam's Talk. I hope that this was good. YouTube, Facebook. I just got off with Instagram. Great questions tonight. Thank you for your feedback. And I will see y'all next Tuesday.